Alright, what is going on, guys? We're over here in Loreville. I got some questions during one of our last videos where I was showing how to put 32s in the Caterpillar. We were doing a VHRT, and I got some questions in the comments about ways to maybe grind up the VHRT because it can be a bit of a grind once you hit MRT. Well, what's really cool is here in the PTU, I happen to have just entered MRT status with guild member. So my goal, I'm going to go kit out my Buccaneer, which is honestly the ship that I would recommend people to speedrun this in, given its firepower and its speed. Here's our next train, and we're going to time, once we start doing the bounties, what it takes in the buck to get up to VHRT. And I'm going to keep a live timer. I'm not probably going to have this video run that whole time, just because for however long it is. But we'll let you know, I'll let you know, sorry, what the actual time was toward the end of it. Now, what I'm doing now, we're heading to the HD showcase over in Loreville, because the way I think you should do this, especially since they're AI ships, full attrition build on the Buccaneer. So that's 2 1s, 2 3s, and a 4. That's going to cost you about 260 AUEC. Either that, or you can run full CF repeaters. It'll cost you about another 182,000 AUEC to add the 2 Panthers and the Rhino you need for that. I wouldn't run ballistics on this build that it comes with stock, just because you have to reload, and that eats into the speed part of you speedrunning to VHRT. And VHRT is where those of us who love the hauling and pulling materials off a ship starts to really make sense in Stanton, where you can get a lot of the copper and corundum for these supplier die missions that are going on right now that make a lot of money, as well as just getting Quantanium and all kinds of other valuables off of these bigger ships. You know, the Caterpillars, the C2 Hercs, all the ships that you can get in VHRTs, and even ERTs, though those are quite a bit harder. If you find yourself face-to-face solo with a Hammerhead, and even an 890, and you're not ready for it, it will end you. So VHRTs tend to be the better way to go. And what we're going to do is go get these attritions on the buck real quick and get out there. Alright, now here we are at HD Showcase. When you get off the train, you just run up the main stairs, come off to the right where you see the big old HD, Hurston Dynamics, and look at these beautiful attrition 6s that I don't even know what I would put them on. Terminals right over here to the right. I priced this out on Urkel so we know what it's going to cost. We're just going to go in. You're going to get 2 attrition 1s. Make sure I don't misclick, because I pretty much have just enough money to make this happen. 2 attrition 3s. Let it kind of do its refresh thing if it acts weird. There we go. And finally, 1 attrition 4 repeater, which, as you can see, I've just barely enough. I was going to do this in CF repeaters, but I had just enough to make this happen. We're in the PTU, and I spent most of my money getting the whole C. So now that we have that, we will get the buck delivered, throw these attritions on there, pretty much run it stock aside from that. It already has a military power plant. I really don't need to do anything else, because the attritions are going to put all the work in. Alright, we got our Buccaneer delivered. Mine I have lovingly named the Honey Badger, because it just don't give a damn. We're going to go ahead and throw these attritions on here. And if for some reason you're wondering why attritions, it's really simple. They look really cool. No. More than that, they are the hardest hitting weapon. It's that simple. AI pilots, honestly, are just garbage. So why not go in with the very best damage that you can do with the attritions rather than using the stock loadout, especially the ballistics here that you have to worry about reloading, which is annoying. Including the Revenant on top. Now, you totally can run full CF build. The Panthers, the Rhino, and the little Bulldogs, they will put in work. They will get the job done 100%. Attritions will just get you there a little bit faster. And also with, you know, repeaters versus ballistics, you have the ability of just going and keeping going, as long as you don't get yourself killed. Alright, so we're going to throw our attrition 4 on here. And then we got an attrition 1, attrition 1, attrition 2. Nope, we're going to put our attrition 3s on those. So I do have some attritions already, I guess. Which the attrition 2s, oh yeah, I was going to put those on the M50 to have some fun with it. So just to verify, we've got our attrition 4 on top. We got our 2 singles, or sorry, attrition 1s, and our 2 attrition 3s. Now, you do not need to worry about missiles. If you have them, feel free to use them. I'm really not going to be using missiles just because of reload time and needing to go down and actually reload, but I am going to get rid of these Tempests and just make sure I'm full ignites. I like to have just all IR or all EM. I don't like to have a mix personally. But yeah, we threw my preferred livery on there. that should be it. Yeah, let's get out there. We already have a military power plant. I don't really care. Well, you know, okay, you don't need these stealth coolers, but I've got them, so I'm going to use them. It, I promise, does not matter in this case. In fact, just for fun here, I'm going to pull out the M50 Interceptor because it has a single Targa shield on it. So I'm going to go ahead and yank that off and throw the Targa on my Buck, because why not? I love that the Buccaneer comes stock with a JS300, which is great. If you're not running a JS300, I recommend running a Breton, the industrial power plant. You get a larger signature, but it puts out a ton of energy, and you really have no problem running full power to weapons, boost, and shield, which is great. Now, if you have a Super Hornet, that's even better, because you can be running 4 size 3 attritions and 2 size 4 attritions and really put down the hurt for these bounty missions. But the Buccaneer is a pretty, you know, inexpensive and common ship, and its top speed, like its horsepower for when you need to disengage to get your shields back or just get out of crazy fire, it's insanely good. I mean, this thing, it's point-to-point speed, or 0 to 60 time, if you want to call it that, is absolutely crazy. I'm not really worried about our quantum drive. But yeah, we got a couple of grade B stealth coolers on. We got our Targa shield, our JS300 power plant. This Buccaneer is ready to put down a beating. If you see my other videos, you know I like to set my medical respawn somewhere close to where I'm working out of. That way I don't have to make this trip every time. And if you're wondering why not Seraph and why not Grimhex, Grimhex is a fine option. It's totally cool. I'm going to set Cruel 1 first regardless, just because if I get the Grimhex and there's some people there or anything happens and I die, then I'm back at Loreville. Seraphim I avoid because of those queue times, because it is a very popular station, and getting in and out of there, you're adding time to your journey if you're, you know, Q4, Q5, Q6 to get out of the hangar. Cruel 1, I rarely ever have queuing issues. Maybe one person ahead of me at the most. But L1 Lagrange points are really great with regard to whichever planet you're around. Arc Corp, Arc L1, Hurston, Her L1, Crew, Crusader Crew L1, Mick L1 for Microtech. So another tip, if you do die, if your ship blows up, it is really cool if you can to have a second fighter that you're good in. That way you can just hop right back into the fight, and if you die again, then your Buccaneer or whatever is ready for you. So that's something I like to do. I have a couple of fighters, so I have that privilege. Definitely something to work towards for you guys. You know, get another fighter or two that you just love flying and are good in, and use that as a sort of a rotating fight. I always claim my other fighters to the main area that I'm working out of, so if I die, and I've always got a ship I can hop back into the fun with versus having to wait for claim times. Which, granted, the Buccaneer, the Gladius, and them, their claim times are like 2 minutes or less expedited, which isn't bad. But, you know, if it bothers you, having that extra ship you can just hop into, especially if you know, to set aside some attritions for AI bounties like this, that you can have your Gladius or your Super Hornet or your Arrow or your Aurora MR, whatever you're using, you kit them out with attritions, you get back in the fight, and the fun continues. Alright guys, we got Crusader in sight, we got our Buck all ready to go, our med spawn's set. Let's go ahead and hit this timer and see how quickly, or how long it takes rather, to get to VHRT from MRT. Now again, you can do this around Hurston if you like. I prefer Crusader for just the speed of bouncing around and not dealing with a whole lot of atmosphere with regard to where you're fighting, because you're not going to fight around Crusader. You're always going to be at Selen, Daymar, or Yella. Just head on a swivel, as always, for people who are trying to capture other players and kill them. If you're in a fighter, they're not as likely to actually care. You know, if you get interdicted, they're going to be like, oh shit, that's not what we want. You might even be able to surprise them and maybe pop a Mantis. Feels real good. Alright. Now that we're here, hop into contracts. This is what we want. This looks a lot different on the PTU. So yeah, I guess we should look at this too real quick. Just get an idea of how this looks. No known affiliations. Quick tip, in Pyro, if you take out Headhunter bounties, you gain rep with the CFP, which gets you better industrial missions like salvage and such. Low risk target, LRT. Alright, here we go. So VLRT, LRT, MRT. It's just not quite as obvious with the way they have it set. So there we go. Now, what I like to do is go to maps, target it here, set course, make it happen. And there we go. It's smart enough to take us out to the OM beacon, which is good. Now, you will black out quick in the Buck. It moves fast. Keep that in mind. And it's doing that really dumb thing where it wants us to go through the planet. Alright, if that happens, I know it's annoying. There's nothing else popping up. Just cancel your navigation. Hopefully this is fixed by the time this goes live. The derpy nav beacons can be a real pain. So take the one that's kind of on the edge of the atmosphere. If it's like another half an inch into the atmosphere, be careful because you can end up killing yourself bouncing off of Crusader's harder surfaces. Which, yeah, it's a gas giant, so that shouldn't be a thing, but still. So it looks like we're going right to the target location. And yeah, this is how I do it. I'll try to talk to it, let you guys know what I'm doing. I drop out in the second we can. I am staying in flight mode, blitzing straight toward the enemy. We are going to do a power pip check to make sure we're good. You can also pop a scan to make sure you're not going to run into anything. I'm putting my thrust vector indicator over empty space. Well, our power is not really going to be indicative while we're in flight mode. Keep that in mind. Now, I like to get under 20k and then go into combat mode. You can get as close as comfortable. Let's do 15. First when they pop up. All right, right now I'm going to go ahead and get in. We're going to double check that our power pips are where they need to be. Everything is good. All right, we have enemy contact. Is it... All right, and our goal here, you're not trying to kill everybody. You are just trying to take out your main target. That is all you want to do. We got a Razer, which the buck is fast enough, man. We will get in there. There we are. I wish we had distances on these guys. So you want to try to merge. You don't want to joust with it. You want to get in close. Try to merge with them. Keeping them in the pitch. There we go. I'm applying some upward thrust. This guy is just moving. They can be kind of annoying, but it's not going to take many hits. Dropped his location. Also keep in mind that you are around asteroids. Damn, It's not always that you're going to be fighting these really annoying Razers. There we go. Target destroyed. Now, do not mess with the others. Kick your shields off. Boost out. You'll already be going well over 500 meters a second. Blitz yourself up toward top speed. Get your next contract. That is how we're doing it. We're not messing with the other ships. That can be fun, but that's not the mission. Right into the next one. Head over to Maps. Select. Nav. Align and go. I always have a habit of moving even when I come out of quantum at a point just in case there are enemies. We're already going 600 meters a second. Just makes it harder for people to, you know, trap you or to get a hold of you. Never sit dead when you're entering moons or OM points. Always move. Always keep moving. It's just a better way to stay safe. And the beautiful thing with these moons and their really low gravity light atmospheres is you don't have to worry about being slowed down. So this is another case. We're going to stop probably about 40k out, maybe a little less. I'm going to go flight mode. As soon as we're free, I am full boosting forward. And we're going to get up to speed really fast. This thing moves. There we go. Contact. That is not our main target, though. I'm going to slow down. I'm looking for our main guy. There he is. Neutralized target. Dead ahead. For some reason, I can't lock him. There we go. He's, low signature. Woo! He's getting dancy with me real close. Alright, try to match him and just pop him. These attritions do damage. These ships are also annoyingly tough because you will completely dissect it, taking apart all of its components before it dies. There we go, we're done. Boosting out. We are not playing with the other ships. So they're going to try to come at us. We're already over 1,000. Perfect. Next contract. Pop a scan. Coming out of flight mode. There we go. I can actually see our target. We didn't even get the contact notification. I am boosting over. We are doing almost 600 meters per second in flight mode. Oh, it's a Hornet. We're going to delete him so fast. Woof, if we don't crash into him. So the buck is fast, man. You might end up crashing into these guys if you're not careful. And did I mention blacking out? Yes. Alright. Okay, what is going on? AIs can act all kinds of weird. Just try to be patient. Try to get up on them. There we go. I love the sound of attritions, man. we go. Target down. We're getting out of here. Full speed out. Accept. Maps. This will become muscle memory, guys. This is why we don't do ballistics. This is why I'm not firing missiles. We're going in. We're killing our main target, getting the credit for the mission, and moving on. Pop a scan. Watch out for asteroids. You know, you gotta have some experience flying around rocks sometimes. I do it a lot. I'm not impervious to hitting an asteroid like an idiot. Just be careful. The mission objective shifted. We have our target, which is a Razer. Of course it is. And these things are annoying to fight. It's putting me in lag pip, which isn't bad. Depends on your preference, really. Gosh, Razers are annoying. Target destroyed. Let's go. Once you get the attritions on your enemy, it does not take much, dude. I always love going to the polar nodes. Now again, when you're hitting these OM beacons, be ready for pirates. Typically, they won't bother you if you're in a fighter because there's nothing to gain unless they're just a murder hobo. And always keep moving. Always keep moving. It's a lot harder to grab you if you're going a kilometer a second. A lot of these are just habits I've built over years of playing. And it's really nothing special. But when you make these things instinctive, you find that you have a lot less issue. There we go. We have our actual target. We're going to blitz over. It's another Razer. We can get real good at hitting these Razers. Alright, he's coming in. I'm going to try to... Wow, that was a fail to merge. Because he's just moving fast right at me. Alright. I'm trying to get an idea of where he's going. The pip always kind of gives you an idea of that. Just want to get closer. There we go. Trying to stay on him. Try to stay on him. Damn, we are doing really bad right now. See, attritions are not as accurate as like CF repeaters or NDBs, but they hit harder. You just gotta get on it. It's jousting me, which is really annoying about these AI Razer pilots, man. Now, spoiler alert, an even faster way to get through this is actually share higher tier missions with a buddy that already has VHRTs or ERTs. Do those together. But yeah, if you're solo, you just gotta move fast, pop the main target, and move on. There we go. Target finally popped in. Way over there. Jeez. Alright, we're gonna try to do a better job. Yeah, you thought you were gonna hit me with a missile. Get out of here. He only has 3 left, which is nice. Alright, blitzing in. Moving fast. I'm hitting my brakes and moving back, thrusting up to try to line up my hits. There we go, there we go. He's not going to last long. That's it. Well, we are out of here. Oh, there it is. Alright. Took you long enough. Yakumo, way over here. If you're wondering what's going on with my pip when it flips like that, it's because I'm going from lag to lead. I like to fight in lead pip most of the time. Lag's okay if that's your thing. Weird. There we go. Now I want to jinx it, but one thing I'm noticing is the lag time to get ship response when you're coming out of Quantum and the consistency of the Quantum beacons have been really good on this update of the 4.1 PTU. So I'm really glad to see that because it allows you to go through faster. It's that quality of life when you're able to just go from one to the next and make it happen. And of course, we're running a lot faster than even I normally would just because we have a specific goal here of how quickly can we get this solved. There we go. We got our main target, which I love to see. I mean, it's an Origin. This poor guy is not going to last long. I mean, most of them don't if you can put shots on target quickly. Yeah, he's already about to be dead. He's kind of wiggling a little bit.
Congratulations.
Alright. Now, the principles here, the basic principles of what I'm doing are applicable to any ship you're using. Just the ship you're using might dictate how fast you get through this based on your armaments, your survivability, your control. The Honey Badger here is definitely going to get the job done really well. Hornets will get the job done really, really well. Gladius too. I mean, put 3 size 3 attritions on a Gladius and go through and tear up these AIs in seconds. It's awesome. And if you prefer CF repeaters because of the better accuracy and the faster projectile speed, go for that too. There's nothing wrong with that. With this ship, you've got, even with the stealth cores, no problem having enough power to have all your pips full, which is great. Alright, neutralize target. There he is. Let's go get him. What I love about the Buck is it is definitely insanely fast to get to your target. The interceptor speed, 1400 meters per second flight mode speeds, nearly 600 meters per second nav mode. This guy's dropping. Oh, it's a Reliant. These guys can be annoying to fight. Let's see. Alright, I hit his main core there. They're quick. Alright, boosting around, trying to get him on sight. If I can just lay some hits in, he will not last very long at all. There we go. Target destroyed. Back into flight mode. Blitzing out. Of course, also make sure your velocity indicator is not pointing at an asteroid when you do this. Don't get too far ahead of yourself, keep the basics in mind. We're going to Daymar for this one. There we go. Got him. Heading straight toward target. And you'll notice that my boost capacitor has been perfect. Now, the distance of the pip from the target, too, will kind of indicate your speed relative to them and your angular approach. That wasn't bad. That wasn't bad. We got his shields down. Kind of match it. Put pot shots on to keep the shields from coming back. We are. Damn it. There we go. Alright, while we're doing this, we'll do a little rep check. I'm getting up there. About 3/4 the way to HRT. There it is. Yeah, when it says new objective neutralized, it usually means that it has identified the actual target. And it's right on top of me. Here we are. Come on. Oh, it's a low signature target. Razer? Yep. Come on. Get in front of my attritions. Let's go. That is, quite durable. Target whacked. Full boosting up. Missile lock. We're traveling about as fast as the missiles will, though, so even then we're fine. There we go. Give us our neutralize. I want to see that shift. There it is. Another Hornet. That gives you an idea of how fast we're moving relative to them. Slowing down. Engaging. He took some hits while he was in flight mode, which isn't good for him. Target destroyed. And we're out. Accept. Maps. Nav. Yep, see, that's why you should go polar. Because you never have to worry about doing a double node hop. Just wanted to show you guys an example of that. If you go polar to 1 or 2, you have a full view of the entire ring. Oh, we got him. Nice. Redirecting up, and it's an Avenger. It's not going to last long. Scanning because we're at nighttime, and these asteroids can be dangerous. Keep that in mind. Jeez, that was almost the end of us. And we're out. Get that thrust vector indicator away from anything scary and destructive. There we go. Main target acquired. Oh. Careful with these guys. Don't let them hit you too easy. You know, I'm going to use that full 2.5 clicks of range. These things are mean. You still put them down fast. Just remember, asteroids all around you. Be smart, be smart. Get out of his nose. Whoop. Firing for no reason. Let's get rebalanced. There we go. Okay, what is this floaty shit you're doing? Target destroyed. Yeah, that one was beefy. Night sight is especially scary. That's why you'll notice me popping my scans. Yeah, we just were very close to that asteroid that we just passed. You develop a sense for it the more you fly in it, but try not to get too frustrated because you will definitely learn by slapping into these asteroids while you're fighting. Okay, I think we got our main target. There he is. Hornet coming in fast. I am hitting the brakes hard and boosting toward him. There we go, we've deleted his shields already. He's hurting. Trying to keep him in the pitch. We got a big rock coming. Careful. Don't want to be in the direct fire of that Hornet much. That will hurt. Sure, I got nothing ahead of me. Get that thrust vector indicator where I can see it. On to the next. There we go, Journeyman Tracker license. We're about to go HRTs, guys. Let's see, we got there in 41 minutes. 41 minutes. We won't count that as it being done. We'll complete our tracker. That'll be the timer for us making it from MRT to HRT. At least we can see the asteroids a lot better on this side. I'll go flight mode from nav mode, just to not have as much of my crosshairs so I can really see what's in front of us. Always putting that TVI where I know it's not going to hit something. Always being aware of it. So this is going to be a bigger grade ships. It might be Hurricanes, it might be Cutlass. We'll see what we got. We got a Freelancer. That's not our main target. Where's our main target? That's all we care about is the main target. Ignore the small fries. Scans, popping around. There we go. There's neutralized. So we've got our main target. It is a Cuddy. Ooh, those are asteroids. Cuddies hit hard, but they also die pretty fast if you just get shots on target. They're also a bigger target to hit, which is really nice when you're running attritions. Splash one. Let's get out of here. 43 minutes, my friends. 43 minutes. All right. We're going to contracts. Offers. We got a new one now, which is, HRTs for 42K. We're going to go ahead and get on moving. All right, I think this is where we'll conclude the MRT to HRT video. So I hope you guys really enjoyed that. That shows that you can get from MRT to HRT in under 45 minutes. Now we're going to do HRT to VHRT and see how long that goes.